Hello everybody, I hope you're keeping well. I would like to give you an update on digital ID. I wrote to my MP for East Thanet, Polly Billington, through the Together Declaration, and this is what she said. Your views on digital ID, case ref PB 09859. Dear Catherine, thank you for contacting me to register your opposition to digital ID cards. I can confirm there are no plans for the government to introduce such a scheme, contrary to what has been reported about Sir Keir trying to bring them forth in a compulsory manner. However, I must be honest that I support the introduction of a digital ID scheme, Kelsurprise, which I believe would help the government to crack down on off-the-books employment, which is a major draw for migrants entering the country unlawfully. Oh no, it's more about getting freebies, not coming to work. They don't want to do any work. They want freebies. Digital ID would help counter those practices in addition to tackling modern slavery and driving up wages and employment rights for those working legally, who are undercut by illegal working. There are also other benefits to digital ID cards, including cutting government waste and bureaucracy and improving citizens' ability to do everything from paying taxes to renewing passports and booking NHS appointments. Most people can't even get an NHS appointment, and we know that is true. It has been reported, not just in the alternative media, but also in the mainstream media. So who's telling the truth? Such schemes are already commonplace across Europe. Despite what opponents of digital ID might imply, the vast majority of citizens already use digital identity extensively in their daily lives. Modern passports contain a digital identity chip. Most people register for government services using online digital accounts, and private digital identities are ubiquitous through social media and email accounts. Therefore, I do not accept the argument that the introduction of an efficient, uniform national scheme would be the fundamental change some are claiming. Oh yes, it would be. And a lot of people don't even use social media. My bestie doesn't go on social media. A lot of people don't. A lot of people want to transact with people, not with machines. Some people do things online because they feel they have no choice, but we'll come to this in a minute. Whilst we may not agree on this issue, I want to thank you once again for writing to me. Please do not hesitate to write back if there are any further points you would like to raise with me. Well, indeed I did. This is what I said. Dear Polly, thank you for your email with a detailed response. Whilst I can see your point of view, I'm sorry to say I do not share it. 1. As British citizens, we already have passports, driver's licences, national insurance numbers, etc., which all prove who we are and our right to benefits and services. So what further benefit would any digital ID scheme give to the British people? Digital systems are wide open to fraud and online crime. Indeed, there have been a number of leaks and hacks in just the last year alone, as well as identity theft, or perhaps leaking of personal health data, which can be deeply distressing. A recent case was the leaking of sensitive information pertaining to Afghans and security service personnel, leaving them wide open targets to terrorists, as reported in mainstream media. Digital systems are divisive. Not everyone is tech savvy or even wants to go down the digital route, and I do believe people should have the choice. Many people already feel that many of their choices have been taken away and they would rather interact with people rather than a machine. Let's look at banking, for example. Banks are closing everywhere and say that it's because more and more are transacting online, but with the greatest respect, that is because people feel they have little choice to do so because their branches have been disappeared. nor do many of us believe it will stop illegal migration and trafficking or modern slavery or improve wages, in my opinion. Such problems not only depend on sound political and fiscal policy, but transcend borders and involve cross-nation policies and cooperation, and to be honest, very few of us see any evidence of that. 4. A system that potentially tracks and traces our every move is not conducive to a modern democratic society and is Orwellian in manner. I personally do not want to live in this kind of society, nor is it inherent in British culture or belief. This is not what our ancestors fought and gave their lives for. They fought for our freedoms, not for our every move to be tracked 24/7 as part of a global 2030 agenda that we hear so much about these days. It matters not whether other nations in Europe have such systems. That is their culture. We have ours. And the political landscape is very different now from what it was when they instigated their systems. Besides which, there are other Commonwealth nations who do not have a digital ID system either. Nor was it in the Labour Party manifesto, like so many other policies that have since been wheeled in with gaslighting and without referendum or democratic process, even in Parliament. As you say, we will never agree on this issue, but rest assured, history has shown time and time again that bringing something in that people neither want nor be demanded of them or subjected to never ends well, especially for the ruling party. I personally know a number of people who voted for Labour in the last election who say they will not vote for the party again because the trust is gone. They are sick to death of everything and are not interested in having any digital ID. Best regards, Catherine. And that is that. Please let me have your comments below. I hope I've covered most things. I didn't want to get too much into any territory that might get me in a spot of mischief. I've just tried to say it like it is. Please do share and please subscribe to my channel if you like what I do. Thanks so much for listening, and I will see you again soon for something maybe a little more upbeat. Until then, bye for now.